Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, April 19th. Welcome to the 10-minute touch point. Glenn is going to awaken the gong.
Yes. Awaken.
Breath. Today, Pema Chodron, who is a Buddhist monk, has some awesome words to tell us. And this is from an article she wrote from a magazine called The Lion's Roar. You can find it online, I believe. thelionsroar.com, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a really long article, but I'm going to get to great stories at the beginning. But we're going to go to the meat. All right. We'll start here. So just take a breath, get yourself connected to the earth, to the sky. And listen to Pema's words. Times are difficult globally. Awakening is no longer a luxury or an ideal. It's becoming critical. We don't need to add more depression, more discouragement, or more anger to what's already here. It's becoming essential that we learn how to relate sanely with difficult times. The earth seems to be beseeching us to connect with joy and discover our innermost essence. This is the best way that we can benefit others. There are three traditional methods for relating directly with difficult circumstances as a path of awakening and joy. The first method we'll call no more struggle. The second, using poison as medicine. And the third, seeing whatever arises as enlightened wisdom. These are three techniques for working with chaos, difficulties, and unwanted events in our daily lives. So the first method, no more struggle, is epitomized by insight awareness meditation instruction. When we sit down to meditate, whatever arises in our mind, we look at directly, calling it thinking, and go back to the simplicity and immediacy of the breath. Again and again, we return to pristine awareness free from concepts. Meditation practice is how we stop fighting with ourselves, how we stop struggling with circumstances, emotions, or moods. This instruction applies to working with unpleasantness in its myriad guises. Whatever or whoever arises, look at it and see it for what it is without calling it names, without hurling rocks, without averting your eyes. Let all those stories go. Go to the places that scare you. The second method of working with chaos is using poison as medicine. We can use difficult situations, poison, as fuel for waking up. When anything difficult arises, any kind of conflict, any notion of unworthiness, anything that feels distasteful, embarrassing, or painful, instead of trying to get rid of it, we breathe it. The three poisons are passion, which includes craving or addiction, aggression, and ignorance, which includes denial or the tendency to shut down and close out. We would usually think of these poisons as something bad, something to be avoided, but that isn't the attitude here. Instead, they become seeds of compassion and openness. We breathe it in for everybody. This poison is not just our personal misfortune, our fault, our blemish, our shame. It's part of the human condition. It's our kinship with all living things, the material we need in order to understand what it's like to stand in another person's shoes. Instead of pushing it away or running from it, we breathe in and connect with it fully. We do this with the wish that all of us could be free of suffering. Then we breathe out, sending out a sense of big space, a sense of ventilation or freshness. The third method for working with chaos is to regard whatever arises as the manifestation of awakened energy. We can regard ourselves as already awake. We can regard our world as already sacred. Perhaps the closest, okay. Regarding what arises as awakened energy reverses our fundamental habitual pattern of trying to avoid conflict, trying to make ourselves better than we are, trying to smooth things out and pretty things up, trying to prove that pain is a mistake and would not exist in our lives if only we did all the right things. This view turns that particular pattern completely around, encouraging us to become interested in looking at the carnal ground of our lives as the working basis for attaining enlightenment. She has a lot more to say about all of these subjects, but we'll just leave it at that. It's a deep article.
Mm-hmm. Deep is a good word.
Deep is a good word. Certainly, the second thing, the poisons, I struggle with that every day. So, because there is so much poison out there, and I want it to just go away instead of being compassionate, instead of allowing myself to just feel it and breathe it in and then breathe it out as compassion, as understanding. Humans are inherently good. All of this anger in the world is not because they're mean people, it's because of something else. Perhaps they're afraid. And I feel as though it's my job, instead of pushing against it and resisting it, to let it in and then let it right back out. Just let it in, love it, and let it out. So I'm answering the question today. The question is, which of the three methods do you find yourself employing the most? And I have to say that using poison as medicine is the one that I am using the most recently. So take a breath and think about those three things. Go to the places that scare you. Use poison as medicine. Regard what arises as awakened energy. And as you reflect on those three things today, the question is, which of these three methods serves you best in this moment? Maybe it's not just one, maybe it's two, maybe it's all three. Everybody's different. So that's our 10-minute touch point for today. Thank you, all you light workers who are here with us, angels in human bodies. Enjoy this beautiful Sunday, and we will see you again tomorrow.